From Levy at River House on River Road in Louisville, Kentucky, this is Shooting from the Lip Live. My name is Erik McEwen, and to my left, your host, Mr. Kevin Hale.
What up, Erik McEwen?
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. So what we got coming up this segment, brother?
We are going to talk sports, and one of my favorite sports people from one of my, from my favorite college basketball team of all time, the Kentucky Wildcats. We welcome Cameron Mills, who has 2 NCAA titles under his belt.
Yes.
One with Rick, one with Tubby.
Yes.
Cameron Mills, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank y'all for having me here.
Yes.
And by the way, sorry about the other night.
I know, it's all right.
I've had one where I bailed on you on the phone, and I bailed on you in live, and I've made up for each one of them.
There's probably one more.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be another one too. Well, look, you asked me to drive all the way to Louisville.
Yeah,
but then you pay for my oysters.
Yeah,
so we're
there
good.
you go. All right, cool. And sitting with us, too, he's going to remain a little quiet here, but my man Russ Hinkle, who has been a huge part of the Shooting from the Lip brand. Russ, what's up?
Hey, Kevin. I'm just overwhelmed by the professionalism here. I mean, Erik went full radio guy right there. It was great.
He's the play-by-play, and I'm the color guy.
Look,
That's
there is even a cube of ice in the glass. That's how professional we are.
I meant to bring
not
that
a cube,
up.
but a sphere. I'm sorry, not
sphere.
a cube. Yeah,
It was a cube.
That is. Was it a cube?
Before I put the Old Forester on.
Okay, I was going to say that's how you do bourbon. I mean,
that's how they do it here.
That is professional.
Well, that's how they do it here at Levy at the River
Well,
House,
either
man.
way,
You're
it's not a bunch of little spits of ice. It's one big thing of ice. That's why I knew we were dealing professional tonight.
He's a fancy man.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say any of the things that y'all are saying right now, because you say Erik McEwen, you don't think fancy or professional.
Well, I don't know that. I just met you, so
We're going to have a long friendship here, and it's going to get awkward.
Oh yeah, well sure. That's what friendships are for.
So good game today, huh?
Yeah, very.
Yeah,
very.
yeah. What's your take on the game? How you think it went?
I think the thing that's being lost on a lot of people with the way Kentucky played today is defensively. I mean, they look great offensively. Winion played out of his mind, shot out of his mind. Was 7 for 7, I think he was.
Wow. 3.
And so that obviously was a big help. But I think that Florida game towards the end of the year, because what did we run off? 4 in a row, 5 in a row?
Yeah,
4, yeah.
Yeah, 4, and then we lose to Florida, but lose bad to Florida. Lose bad to Florida.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, okay, well, those 4 didn't matter. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
I mean, you go back to, and I always forget the year. I want to say it was 2014.
yeah.
Where, we've got 8 or 9 losses. We're not playing great. We're not gelling the way, Coach Cal's teams usually start to gel. And then you get to the point where all of a sudden we get to SEC tournament. And that's why I tell people all the time, the only thing that matters is March. Nothing else matters. I don't care what happens in the regular season. I don't care what happens at Kansas in December. I don't care.
So as far as seeds going into the tournament, doesn't
matter to me.
It doesn't matter to you. Does it matter to the committee?
Coach Pitino used to tell us all the time that the only reason seeds matter is it makes your path to the tournament or to the Final Four easier. And it does. It relatively makes it. It means you get to rest more guys earlier in the tournament. But ultimately, if you're going to win a championship, you still got to beat the best in the country.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it makes it easier to get there. It doesn't make it easier to win. And when you're Kentucky, getting there is not part of the process.
Right.
Winning it is part of the process. So I don't care what happens at Kansas. And the committee it'll affect. But then what happens is you've got so many people so early on starting to talk about, well, Joe Lunardi says this, Joe Lunardi says this.
Right.
This is the first 4 out. Nobody knows because nobody's in that committee meeting except, you know what? Mitch Barnhart is in that committee meeting right now. Mm-hmm. And this other thing that bothers me is right now they have decided, regardless of whether we win or lose tomorrow, they've decided where we're going, what our seed is, and who we're going to play.
Which is ridiculous.
What is the point of that game then?
What is the point of the game?
So that's the kind of stuff that bothers me. But I don't care about any of that. What I care about is whether we lose to Kansas in the regular season or we lose to Florida the last game of the season or any of that matters. I care that we are playing our best basketball come March 1st or SEC tournament realistically. Because going back to that 14 season I was talking about a few minutes ago, what matters, what matters is that those guys, especially the freshmen, Kevin, is that those guys learn within 5 months that we go further than that I don't care if I get the points or you get the points, as long as we get the points. And I care about my teammate more than I care about myself. If we can learn those 3 lessons when it comes to the SEC tournament, then I don't care how talentless or talented we are, each team's got a chance to do something magical. And when you're at Kentucky and you have talent, and now you have talent that's playing as a team, you're going to do something magical. And so that's what's exciting to me now is we are looking like a team finally. It's taken all year. And look, the Kentucky fans that have been frustrated with this team, I get it. I understand it. But I've never cared about it. Right. Because right now all that matters to me is we look like a team that's playing their best basketball of the season, and that's literally all I expect from my Kentucky team. I don't care how good or how bad we are. I want them playing their best at the end of the season.
So when you're at home, when you're watching a game, I'm sure the armchair coach, the armchair alum comes out a little bit. Your take on Calipari saying this multiple times today with the wired, play faster, play faster, play faster. Is that something that you think that not having played for Calipari,
right,
is that his MO? Because I've never heard this come out of him before.
Well, it's not only, I don't know, because I haven't either. And it's funny to me because my coaches, which was Coach Smith and Coach Pitino, it was play slower. Now, they didn't mean don't play up tempo. What they meant is set your man up slower.
Do you have to run down the court?
Process slower.
Do you have to run it up the court?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Like run it up. That's what he was talking about at halftime. Do you
why
aren't you running it up the court?
Why aren't he? Oh yeah. Well, and I want that. I want that.
Okay.
I want because here's what you do when you do that. You're not giving the defense time to reset.
Exactly. Right.
You are constantly putting pressure on defense. Mm-hmm. Here's what's lost on a lot of people when it comes to pressure basketball. And I don't mean necessarily just full court pressure, though that's the way it was in my life. I mean just in general. You don't full court press in the first half of the game to turn in the first 5 minutes of the game to turn the team over.
Right.
You do it to wear them down so that in the last 5 minutes of the game, they're turning themselves over because they can't think straight. They're making dumb, fatigued basketball plays because they're not prepared, they're not in shape, their legs are jelly, and their blood is in their legs instead of in their brain. And that's what you want. So I think that's what he's saying is play fast, play fast, play fast, play fast. Let's keep them on their heels instead of their toes and constantly be putting pressure on them because now he may play differently tomorrow. Tomorrow it may not be play faster, play faster, play faster. That may be very much specifically the game plan for who we played today, not so much for Tennessee.
So in the SEC tournament, when you're there, four games, 4 days in a row.
Yeah.
How exhausted?
Or 3 if you're lucky.
Right.
Yeah.
How exhausted are you at this point, or is this just something that commentators are wanting to talk about, give excuses, or are you just on adrenaline?
If you're 4 games in, and honestly, I can't even speak from experience. I'm going to make an assumption because every year I played, it was 3 games. We got the double bye, or at the time I think it was just a single bye.
Yeah. And it was in black and white. Those games were in black and white.
It was not. It was in 480p. It wasn't 1080p, but it wasn't black and white.
We're the same age. Yeah. You're older than we are, dude.
High definition.
I don't think it. Look, these are young guys, or 18 years old. This is what they do.
Right.
If they weren't doing it on national television, they'd be doing it anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not that they'd be playing 1 game; they'd be playing 5 games a day.
Pick up.
So I think the adrenaline, the adrenaline flows and then it exits your kind of your body a little bit, and there's that leftover fatigue. But look, this isn't abnormal to play 4 games in 4 days.
Right.
This is normal. But I will say this. You're better off having only played 3 than you are 4.
Right.
Now, tomorrow's not going to matter. Both teams are going to play 3. But it really doesn't matter as much as people. You said it exactly right. This is what commentators, and look, I have nothing but respect for them because their job is a lot harder than any of us think. Because I do it all the time. I do it for SEC or for Sweet 16 Radio Network for the state tournament. Sometimes you just got to say something. You don't know what to say. You say something stupid. And you got to have these talking points.
I do it all the time.
Yeah, actually, that's what we're doing here. You got to say something. You can't have dead air.
And Russ hasn't even started talking.
I was going to say, yeah.
I got a little question about this. It doesn't matter because I understand it doesn't matter from a strategic standpoint, but it certainly matters to the guy that spent $1,200 to go down there for the weekend.
I am not worried about you, Russ, going down to go as a fan.
Well, but if all the fans start finding out that it doesn't matter, all of a sudden they pull back, and then Atlanta starts saying, "Wait a minute, this matters."
Well, you mean Tuscaloosa, I guess. You mean the SEC.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Well, I always think of the SEC tournament as Atlanta.
Yeah.
Because you and I are the same age.
Exactly.
I hate it. It's in St. Louis. I don't know why we're in St. Louis right now.
St. Louis.
It's ridiculous. Well, that's clever.
Yeah.
But the SEC, this off your question, but the SEC tournament ought to be one place every year, not be in Atlanta.
Didn't they have that agreement with Missouri when Missouri came in?
I don't care. What a dumb agreement. But hey,
I agree.
Come join our conference and we'll give you an SEC tournament that's still 200 miles from your thing.
Your campus,
but let's go to your question. So your question is basically what? Give it to me specifically because I feel passionately about this.
I say the fans determine what matters.
Yes.
The fans determine what matters.
Yes.
That you don't even have a following.
A lot of fans because they can't go to Rupp, or
Exactly.
they think they can't go to Rupp. They can actually go to Rupp a lot easier than they think they can.
That's true.
But this is vacation for them.
Yeah.
Now, vacation in St. Louis, but vacation nonetheless, they want to go. So I get what you're saying. So what you're saying is we want them playing their best basketball because it's entertainment for our fans.
Well, it's the fans go down there as a matter of pride. When we put on our blue shirts and walk around that arena and mingle with the others, we are there as, our team is the best. We can be friends, we can be humans, we can all be the same, but our team is the best,
right?
And we are here to represent that.
Right.
So it was like, I forget, it was the year they played Vanderbilt. When Vanderbilt beat you all, I don't think you were on the team.
First of all, they didn't beat me.
Yeah, ever.
Actually, it's Tennessee. I had this old joke, Rocky Top, you'll always be 0-8 to me.
I like it. But no.
Can you sing that?
There was a game.
I can, but I won't.
There's a game where Calipari basically let the team go out there in the second half, and he said, if you win, you win. If you don't, you don't. He didn't coach at all.
I know.
Because he didn't care.
Well, Cal's got this thing where he doesn't care about the SEC tournament.
Of course.
And I get it. I care about it because this morning when Jay Billis and Jay Will and Greenberg were on TV, they were watching Cal walk towards the arena off the bus, and they said, Kentucky owns this tournament and owns this conference.
Yeah.
And I got goosebumps because we freaking do own this conference. We do own, and we do own this tournament. We've won 30 SEC tournament conferences. The next best? Alabama at 6.
Yeah.
It's not even close. And I love that pride. I absolutely do. But here's the other thing. If I'm going to trade an SEC tournament for an NCAA championship, I'm making that trade 10 times out of 10.
Why not?
But I get what you're saying. You're there, we want to be entertained, but as I always say is this, you're there as fans to cheer these guys on. I get that you pay your money.
Yeah.
I get that you want to watch and be entertained, but fans are there to support the team, not the other way around.
All right, here we go. We've talked
Russ
Kentucky.
doesn't get to talk.
I was just going to say, I would just hope that they would at least try to win the game.
I promise they're trying to win.
Okay.
Because,
I mean, they're not tanking
now the coach,
tournaments,
right? The
dude.
coach,
I know, but there's
But now think about this, Russ.
fine line.
Think about this. The coach may have a bigger motivation than this particular half a game.
Yeah.
He may be thinking bigger picture sometimes,
go.
and that's what's lost on fans sometimes.
All
There you
right,
go.
let's talk the local school here in town. We broadcast live from Louisville, Kentucky, University of Louisville.
So we're talking Bellarmine?
We're talking, close. Talking Louisville. Are they in? Do they make the
I don't know.
tournament?
See, and that's the other thing is that you got Lenardi saying what I think. As of this morning, he's first 4 out.
Out, yeah. But
Which again, remember it's Lenardi.
But Cameron Mills says they are.
Cameron Mills hopes they're in.
I agree. I want them to be.
Because I'm not a Louisville hater.
All right.
It's not that I'm not a Louisville hater because Pitino was my coach. I'm not a Louisville hater because Louisville being at the best they can be is good for the state of Kentucky.
Absolutely.
And it's good for the University of Kentucky. I don't want my rivals beaten up and battered when we beat them by 40. I want them firing on all cylinders and beating them by 40.
There you go.
That's what I want. I want them kicking tail. But we're still going to beat them by 40. Yeah. That's a rivalry to me.
All right. So you say, Russ, are they in?
Say unless it's the SEC championship game, then
All right.
then all
Now,
bets are off.
One more thing.
right.
You mentioned Pitino. Pitino was your coach.
Yes, he was for 3 years.
He came out yesterday and acknowledged that he has hired an agent.
Yep.
He wants to get back into coaching. Will he coach again?
Yes.
In college or the pros?
Well, what college? He can coach NAIA and never have to have a show cause.
Yeah.
Well,
right there.
You're just flipping the script on us here.
Yeah.
A little
You
bit.
do, yeah.
We're going black and white.
Yeah.
What do you mean
NBA,
black and
NCAA,
white?
NCAA, NBA.
I don't know. That
UConn.
UConn's not going to hire him. They just got rid of their coach because of the same thing.
That's a good point too. So
yeah, no, I don't think he'll ever coach in NCAA again.
Okay.
I don't. If what's come out about him is true, and I don't know that it is. I don't know that it isn't. But if it's true, the show cause on that is going to be so enormous.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That a team is not going to take a chance on him. But I think what he's saying is he's a coach. Mm-hmm. It's like me. Okay, you and I were talking about spirituality earlier, Russ. Okay, I'm an evangelist. I go around, I tell people about Jesus. Okay, I went through a divorce a few years ago. In the Christian church, there is a stigma that if you're divorced, well, you're no longer qualified to be in ministry. The silly part about that is that when you're called to be an evangelist, all that means is you tell people about Jesus. Divorced or not, you can't stop me from telling people about Jesus. It's in my blood. It's in my heart. I have to do it. It's the same thing with Coach P. Coach P's a coach. You can't stop him from coaching. So I think he'll be in the NBA. I think he may be coaching AAU. I think what he's saying is he's got to coach no matter what level.
Because he's what now?
63,
right?
64,
Yeah.
something like that.
All right, cool.
I mean,
Cameron,
Boeheim is what, 90?
It
Boeheim's
seems that
about
way.
the- yeah.
By the way, did you know Boeheim was a walk-on?
Get out.
Someone sent me a list on Twitter one time of the greatest walk-ons in NCAA history. I was lucky enough to make the list, and there was Jim Boeheim
wow.
right above
Wait,
me.
you walked on?
I
Yeah,
walked
he-
on. Yeah, I was walking on the
Get
first
out
2 years.
of town.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's not forget to mention Steve Masiello.
Steve Masiello was a walk-on.
Oh, that
Not one of the
guy.
greatest, but still one of my best friends ever, absolutely.
And he's coaching at what, Manhattan?
Manhattan, yeah. I've got Scott Padgett's at Sanford, Allen Edwards at Wyoming, Steve is at Sanford,
Mark Pope's at
Utah Valley. Yeah,
right?
I've got the Coach Pitino, and I know people don't like to hear this, but the Coach Pitino coaching tree is massive. It's
All
just
right,
massive.
staying with Louisville, David Padgett. Does the interim tag get removed from it?
I don't think so. I think they're going to go a different direction. I think what they're going to do is kind of like what, in a sense, I think Kentucky did, in a different reason, but I think what Kentucky did a few years ago when they went and got rid of, when they brought in Calipari, they got rid of everybody, not everybody, but they got rid of a lot of people that had any connection to Gillespie.
Right.
A lot of people. I think they're going to go the same way. I think Louisville's going to want a clean house, get rid of anything that has the stigma of a Rick Pitino touch, which includes Padgett. And I think that's unfair to Padgett, but I think that's why I think it was smart to give him the job because at this point you want to placate the players because it's not these guys' fault.
No.
What happened?
I agree.
So you want to placate the players, but at this point they're gonna go after somebody else.
Is Padgett going to coach in the NCAA Division
Oh,
I?
absolutely.
Division I?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
At some point he will
I'm
because
fine
look,
with that.
he's got more experience than anybody his age.
Jeez, look what he
Look
got.
what he got this
Yeah,
year.
absolutely.
This was a gift to him.
He
And he might have gotten them into the NCAA tournament.
I'm actually rooting for the guy.
I am too.
why not?
I
He's
am.
a
I
hell
like
of a
David.
guy.
I like David. I want Louisville to be in the tournament. Like I said, I'm not a hater. But now look, when Kentucky plays them, I want to beat them by 50.
Yeah. Well,
But
we beat him
other
by
than
29. That was pretty
I
nice.
was happy with that.
Eric, that's still a sore subject.
Too soon. It's
but
been 3
Eric,
months and it's
that's
still
what
too
makes
soon.
this rivalry great. That's 1 year.
It does, and I
That's
love
1
it
year.
every time. Rupp Arena sold out, Yum Center sold out.
Yeah.
Every year, and if Louisville wasn't doing well, then would we sell out Rupp Arena
No.
after a few years? Probably
no, people
not.
would be complaining the way they're complaining about when Wofford comes to town or Vermont comes to town. What are these teams coming to Rupp? When are we going to get some talent to come to Rupp
Appalachian
Arena and play
State.
Kentucky? Yeah, that's what they're complaining about.
Old Dominion.
I want Louisville playing their best, and then I want to beat them by 30. That's what I want our rivalry to be.
All right. Cameron Mills Radio, former UK Hoops player. He's a fan of our show.
Two-time national champion.
Yeah,
Yep. And one-time runner-up.
and one-time runner-up.
One-time
Arizona.
runner-up.
Or Arizona.
And an evangelist.
It's honest.
Should have
It's
played
not
Derek
made up, it's
Anderson.
honest. What'd you
Derek
say?
Anderson should have played.
Derek Anderson has
Russ.
admitted that he should have played.
If Derek Anderson plays, guess who doesn't?
All right.
Why don't
Selfish
people
reasons.
understand that?
I've never looked
and
at
they
it that
say
way.
it to me all the time. Cameron, don't you think Derek should have played in the 97 championship game? I said,
He's like,
no. He should
So
have sat on
what
the
you're
bench.
saying is it's your fault that you were runner-up.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
All right.
Because the bottom
Stay
line is,
tuned.
if Derek had played, we would have won. What you're saying is, Cameron, if you hadn't have played, we would have won.
Stay tuned on Facebook Live to hear the exclusive content of Russ and Cameron arguing about something that really doesn't matter and something hypothetical. We are
exactly
at the
one of these
river.
days.
We are at the levee at the River House. This is Shooting from the
Stay
Lip
tuned.
Live. We're going to be back very soon with
the Kirby boys are going to
The
be
Kirby boys.
talking to us for a few minutes before they start their gig.
Hang tight, guys. We'll be back very soon.
Good stuff, Cameron. Thank you. My man.